Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I know this is not a genius statement that I'm about to utter here, and that is obviously we analyze the world based on our own, worldview, how we, based on our knowledge, mental abilities, experience, direct experience with life, being around the block a few times. Therefore, when we make an assessment, we make it having all that as weapons that we use, or maybe not weapons, but aids. Not aids, you know what I mean? Aids, like aid, plural. So what's going on here? Well, let's say you see a situation, you see a child, I know, is like 15 years old, doing a roll around on the grass. Now, you would say, nothing other, it just rolls around the grass, a 15-year-old boy or a girl. But someone else will be like, oh my God, that's so unsafe. Oh my God, looks around, gonna call CPS, Child Protective Services? Where are the parents? Just roll over in the grass. Oh my God. You see, that person interprets that based on her, worldview, being a scary, shitty cat, okay? Someone like you or I, just a 15-year-old kid rolled over in grass. Nothing wrong with that. I've done that. Nothing happens. You know what I mean? Now, you have people like writing articles. And these people will write articles based on their worldview. And they will interpret certain events or certain circumstances, right? Life events, based on their, you know what I mean? So this is an example here where we have some people who analyze the delivery of the F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine, in Ukraine, because it's not going to be to Ukraine, it's going to be in Ukraine, operated by Ukrainian pilots, against the Russians as being, the Russians are shitting their pants. That kind of person analyzed it that way. The problem is these people are employed by the Telegraph. They're not employed by Sukuluku Bagalaka media outlet or Tropokopo Tsupupapa. You know what I mean? This is the Telegraph. A lot of people are reading it and other people believe in that. So these people tell us this author, which is Greg Bagwell. Well, that's Bagwell. I think that's great for a name. Bagwell, from begging. You are begging very well. To whom? The guys to allow you to write for Telegraph. That's how I see it. F off. Ukraine's new F-16 fighter jets will strike fear into Putin's pilots. Greg, really? Now, people like maybe you and I know that a cage fighter is not really a painter or a piano player or a ping pong player. A cage fighter in MMA, let's put it this way, it's kind of like a certain kind of person, you know what I mean? It has certain kind of traits more than others. You see how euphemistically I'm using here instead of saying, all right, I've been a fighter. You have to have a certain kind of extra versus someone who likes flowers, likes to paint, things like this, ice cream, things like this, okay? So you have to have certain kind of traits. Do you think that the Russian pilots are smelling flowers and are those, mommy, can you fix me a sandwich, please? Do you think that those guys are? Those guys are warriors. Are not like the Greg Bagwell. You know what I mean? It's not like that. But he, in his mind, in his worldview, that's what it is. Why? Because he puts himself in the Russian shoes, and he, as a weasel that he is, thinks that he's gonna be petrified. First, analyzing the F-16s as being this fantastic fighter jets. Sorry to break the news. I know patriotism works, and I'm for it. But patriotism should not, cloud our intelligence, our logic, our reason. I'm a patriotic person too. So I know when that kicks in, subjectivity goes like this, and logic and reason goes like that. I know that one. But the first, the first way of improving is to figure out that you have a little problem. And that's the problem that we have with that. Pathos is always bigger than logos. We have to keep it. If you have spikes like, then immediately the logos has to take over and say, hey, wait a second. Calm down, relax. And then you can change from the pathos, logos, the other way around. So I understand that. F-16 is an airplane that was built in 1970s. Imagine a car that was built in 1970s and it was just upgraded. You can say, well, that's fine, that's good. All right, no problem with that. But still is an old plane. 76, 86, 96, 2006, 2016, almost 50 years old plane. Now in technology speaking, or years, 50 years old technology is like you are 3,000 years old. That's how old you are technologically. So anyway, with updates, and I understand that one still. Right? So don't think like Greg thinks that the F-16s were gonna those guys up, because he thinks that F-16s are fantastic. He thinks the Russians are pussies, and he puts himself against the F-16s. Oh my God! Where's the safe place for me? Safe space? That's how we have weasels like this giving us. And the problem is that people like rolled over. She's 15 on the grass. Oh my God! It's unsafe, honey. The CPS, I would like to report we have here an abuse and neglect incident. Yes, she rolled over in the grass. How old is she? Well, she's 15. And you have over there, you have another weasel. She's 15. Let's assign the case to a CPS investigator. Why? Because it's a 15-year-old kid in danger rolling over. And that gets assigned to an investigator. An investigator is going to be like, fuck. Here we go again. It's okay, I'm going to do my job. You are going to pay for it because that's a governmental job. And I'm just going to be doing something that I know it's top. And I am, right, as an investigator, at their whim. The guy who assigned it as a pussy and the guy who reported it as a pussy. And there you have, and you pay for all this. And this is just a low-level situation. Imagine someone who makes, I don't know, like Canada. They make policies, and they're like this. Look at Trudeau, look at his cabinet, are all like this. All like this. And you, the real guy, the real person, you have to just obey them. And you think, how is this system fair? You have weak people over the strong. And someone will say, well, maybe it doesn't mean that that's the strength and that's not the strength. Well, we know exactly who made all this. The majority. The majority is weak. We know that one. I mean, otherwise we'll be in a different place. So, if you have this kind of voting system where the weak can make the rules and the strong, which are a little bit more limited than that, they have to obey the will of the majority, what did you expect? What did you expect? If I want your wife with together out of 5 guys and we vote, what are you going to do about it? Nothing. It's a democratic system. And I ignore your rights and her rights, okay? So, all right, that's the beauty of democracy. So in this case, we have weasels like Greg beg very well, like with his nose and his tongue, very well begging. He is giving us that the Russians are scared to death. Like those guys are, as I said, painters. They're not military. And if that would have been the case, do you remember how many close calls were in the sky between the F-16s and, let's say, Sukhoi 35s? Do you remember? I think I know about 30 or so. Did F-16s ever did anything to Sukhois? There are videos who pushes who around. Go and watch them. And it's never, or at least I haven't seen, F-16s pushing away the Sukhois. I wonder why. Because I think the Russians are so afraid of the F-16s. So you see, these guys are making, writing articles to the world. These guys are heard of. All right? And these guys are making policies. And these guys are over there and you're over here. Maybe you are over there too, but if you are, do it as it should be. All right. Otherwise, we're going to go to hell. Our civilization will go to hell. An example, look at the Roman Empire. Look how that civilization went to hell. The same freaking well. The same freaking well, the same freaking way. Well, what do you want? That's one of the reasons why they can do this. Because they have an uneducated society with the impression they're educated because they have a college degree. 30% of the US adult population has a college degree. How many work on the level? It's but I'm an educated person. No, you're not. Talk to me, and I'm gonna see. And you're gonna see if I'm educated. Don't give me. I have a diploma. Yeah, okay. And Obama was voted 2 times, and Biden in the office, and Biden over there, and Trump, and Bush, and Clinton. All these guys were voted in the office with this educated, sophisticated society. Shut up. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.